What is up, guys? My name of course is Carlo, and welcome yet to another video. And yeah, we're going to be doing the same as we did in a previous video with the Marvels tutorial, but this time we are going to be working with video to give it a little bit more oomph, which is really cool. So as you can see here, I have got the trailer for Infinity War, which by the way looks insane. And yeah, I'm going to be using this in our text rather than pictures, which is really cool. So in order to do that, you're going to select your video layer and we're going to prepare first. Now I've already done it, which you can see here. If I go to my desktop, Avengers PNG, I have rendered quite a bit of it out in a PNG sequence. And if you don't know how that works, you simply go into create a folder in your desktop, like I've just did here. And name it PNG, and then you are going to render it out as a JPEG sequence. So you're going to come up to composite, add to render queue, go to your lossless, change it from QuickTime to JPEG sequence, click OK, and then navigate it to a folder of your choice. But I've done that, so no need for me to do it. So once you've done that, you're simply going to come up to import file, and you're going to go navigate to where your folder is, and I'm going to navigate to this, click the first one, and I'm going to import it as a JPEG sequence. Click on open, and there is my sequence. Now the beauty of this, we don't have to realign it, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to drop it in now, and I've got the same video sequence that I just imported, but as pictures. Which is fantastic. So we are getting there, guys. So let's go back to the beginning, and we're simply gonna, once that's done, composition, layer, I'm gonna pre-compose that. Now the reason why we pre-compose is so that Element 3D can recognize it. So we're gonna move all attributes, which is there, and now we've got our picture, which is made as our video, which is made as a PNG sequence. Fantastic. Let's create a new text, and let's call this Marvel. Let's align our Marvel text to the center, like so. Let's make sure that fits the screen, so let's just zoom out a bit so we can see what we're doing. Obviously this is a widescreen trailer, so it's going to add to it, which is, if I spell Marvel right, it would help, wouldn't it, guys? So let's put an E in there instead, and that's better. Okay, so we've done that bit there. Now let's go and create a new solid. Make it comp size, name it Element 3D or whatever you want to name it. Click OK, and then we're going to simply add our Element 3D layer on top of that, or our Element 3D plugin. And we're going to do the same what we did before. So we're going to go to custom layer, custom text and mask, change that to Marvel, and change our bottom one to the third one, which is our studio thing. Come up to the top, click on setup, click extrude, and we're simply going to repeat the process what we did before. So let's make our bevel scale a lot fatter, like so. I want the video to fill all of this, so I'm not going to add any barriers or bulbs to this. I'm just going to add it to this, which I think is going to look pretty cool. Come up to this, I'm going to load my textures, my Marvel setup. As you can see, we have the video in on our text, which is pretty cool. Let's punch the contrast up so it's a bit more contrasty. Bring the brightness down, click OK, and click OK with that. That will update in real time, and we're going to do the same to the side as well. So as we're playing, our video is playing as well, which looks pretty cool. But we still need to play around with it because it doesn't look too clever. So let's go back in and just play around with our custom layer. So let's bring the gamma up, or let's bring the gamma down. Let's bring the contrast, really punch the contrast up. Let's bring the brightness up a bit. Let's bring the saturation up so it's a lot more And now we can play around with our offset, which is really, really cool. So we can position our video where we want it. So I'm just going to bring it over a bit, maybe to about there. Click OK. See how that looks. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. So let's RAM preview that a second. Now you can change the background afterwards if you want. You can do whatever you want to it, but I just think this is going to look pretty awesome as it is. If you want to change your background, then you can change it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So let's get a background layer. Okay, so let's go to our project. Let's go to File. Let's go to Import a file, and let's find one. I don't know whether I moved it or not. Actually, I think I did into my other hard drive. So let's have a look. 1 terabyte. Let's go to project files, wherever you got your images, and let's find an image which looks nice. This one looks nice. Let's open up that, and if you get that, you can just drop that behind the just drop it below the Marvel layer, or the Element 3D layer. Sorry, I do apologize. And then you can sort of animate that as you see fit. So let's RAM preview that. Now, as you can see, it's gone black, and it's simply gone black is because that's where the video animation ends. And then once it renders, it should be still pretty cool. Now we can add an outer layer to this, but I simply want it all full up, which is cool. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to animate that now. So let's add a new camera, 28mm, and now we can play around with our camera. Let's bring this to here. This is really lagging. Okay. So let's drop this to half res. Let's just zoom that in to about there. Let's go position on that. Let's bring that forward to about 5 seconds. Oh, I'm losing the plot here. And then just spin it around. So let's see. So let's RAM preview that now. We're going to do the outside. I think we need to do the outside as well. Fix that, but still it looks pretty awesome anyway, because we've got video in the background, which I think looks really, really cool. And you can, you know, place the video how you want, really, in the scene. So that's where our scene ends. And you can, like I just said, alter how the video plays back. I mean, what you have in here, you can alter. It all depends how your video shows up, which is pretty cool. So let's go to Element 3D, go to our effects control. Let's jump back into scene setup, and let's just play around with how our custom layer looks. So let's put our offset to about there. Bring it over, stretch it out, all the way. And then, you know, when you edit your video, like, because it's a PNG sequence, you can have what you want in this. So it's entirely how you sort of like select what sort of video you have, if that makes sense. What images you have coming across the screen. So that looks pretty cool. Yep. Now let's go to OK. Update that, and that looks pretty sweet. That's looking pretty cool. As you can see there, looks cool. We've got some nice video. on the actual text itself. So I'm just going to jump into my utilities, not my utilities, into my render settings. And I'm just going to add some bits to it. So my physical environment I'm going to leave okay. Shadows is fine. I'm going to enable shadow glow, and then I'm going to scroll down to ambient occlusion. I'm going to enable that. It's going to make it a little bit more nicer. Let's go down to reflections. That's fine. Let's put reflections high. Motion blur you can add. Depth of field glow would be a nice one. So let's add a glow. And let's put to luminance. Let's bring the glow threshold down to about 0.5. Glow radius say to about 3. This one say to about 0.50. That's just going to give you a nice bit of glow in your footage. And then it's entirely up to you how you animate the picture in the background. It's entirely up to you how you do this. Yeah, so that I think looks pretty cool. And then, like we did before, we can add the the Marvel logo at the top. So let's just play around with our video. Okay, I don't like this bit. I want it to be more, yeah, like that with him and her. So basically I'm just going to trim that down, and I'm just going to bring that over. So we've got more of the characters on the scene rather than the building. See, that's looking really sweet. Okay, so that's, let's just double click on that. Right, so let's jump back into our comp. Now let's jump into Element 3D, go to our scene setup, and let's bust in our custom layer, which is this one. Click OK, and let's just go back to our custom layer, and let's play around with the overall look of it. Bring that up. It's about there. We need to bring our contrast down because that's way too high. Bring our camera up. Bring our saturation up just a touch. Click OK, and let's just have a look how that looks. So that's looking nice with our ambient occlusion in it. We've got a lot more going on. We've even got a Marvel thing there. But like I just said, feel free to jump back into your comp and just move the video around to how you see fit. Maybe I want it starting with Iron Man. Or there, for instance, and then I could just jump back into my normal comp, and that will be updated. Whoops, that should be updated as I go through. So if you want to fix that, like I've just said, jump back into Element 3D, go to Scene Setup, and where this video starts here, you can customize the layout to basically move the offset where you want. Have Iron Man there, for instance. Bring the input levels down. Click OK. OK, and then yeah, that's looking a lot better. You've got Iron Man flying across the screen. You've got Doctor Strange there, which is cool. And just, in theory, all you're doing literally is just playing around with the color correction of it. You can because it's a separate layer, you can go to effects, go to color correction, curves, and then you can play around with your curves. Yeah, you can punch it up, you can play around with your curves. You can do basically what you want, but yeah, it's looking pretty cool. But the trick is to play around with it in the element layer to get it perfect. So let's go back into there. Let's go back into a custom layer. let's just bring the brightness up a bit. Click OK, and just play around with it until you get it the way you want. But as you can see, it's looking pretty awesome. Yeah, looks amazing. So guys, as always, if you have enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And as always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, remember, hit that subscribe button. Plenty more tutorials coming to the channel. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one. And as always, I'll definitely catch you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.